Okay, well, in keeping with the tradition of showing you the weird, wild, and wonderful here on Gas Under Pressure, we show you something a little bit different than what we've been seeing here lately. What we have here is a Coleman Model 16 gasoline radiant heater. Now, I don't have the radiants in here. I do have them, but I don't have them in here. So, because number one, they're fragile. Number two, the Rayglow R48 radiant, which is what these take, are really, really extremely rare and hard to find. And when you do find them, they're usually about 25 bucks a piece. So I'm not really taking them out here, and especially since we haven't fired this thing up yet. You may have noticed a rather large hole on the right hand side here, and that rather large hole is filled by a rather large tank. So this is I've got this filled with gasoline because right now the tank is a little bit cruddy, so I'm not going to put any kind of special Coleman fuel or anything like that. I've got ethanol-free gasoline in here because I try to keep it away from corroding the brass internals. I've had people tell me that, oh, no, ethanol doesn't really, well, not ethanol, but, well, alcohol, ethanol, whatever, doesn't really attract moisture, it doesn't corrode brass, doesn't cause any problems. So this is a brass tube that you may have recall I made earlier. This has been sitting in denatured alcohol, and you can see that it is quite corroded, and it's got some of the verdigris on there because it does attract moisture and it does cause corrosion. So if you use gasoline with ethanol in it, that ethanol will attract water and will end up corroding your brass. And stuff that is ethanol free does not, because it does not really attract the water that much. And so anyway, that's what I'm using with this. So that's what I have in here. I have saved you the trouble of rebuilding the generator. And this is one of the reasons why I have no problem using the regular gasoline in here. Wow, these are dirty. So while I'm cleaning these, I'll kind of tell you what I did. First of all, you have to remove the generator, and I want to try to remove the generator without putting any apprentice marks on it if I can. So that is a bit of a challenge, because if you put a wrench on this, all that happens is this gas tip comes off and this is still screwed into the valve body. So that's not going to help you. So what I end up doing on these is that I kind of do like a little soft jaws thing here with my vise. And then when I have this secured in here, I'll take the generator and then put it in the soft jaw here and clamp it down. So then I have this full surface area here clamping against this. And even though it's just essentially paper, these are steel or stainless steel. I believe this actually is stainless steel. You can put a fair amount of clamping force on it, and you're not gonna damage it. And then what I do, you don't use the tank to turn the valve. Don't put it on here and say, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and unloosen it by turning this. You will probably rip this right out of the tank, because these tanks are pretty thin, and they're this Everdure material, which is like a brass copper type of alloy. And at any rate, it's not super sturdy. I mean, you can feel it flex with your hands. Put a wrench on this. So when you have it in here, put a wrench on this and then hold the tank, but use the wrench to do the turning. Apply your force here and it'll come right out. So that made that pretty easy. These generators, there's nothing special with these. They have a coil in the inside, and they've got a pricker at the end. This gas tip comes off, and in fact, I think I've got the gas tip sitting in here from my 457G, but there's a gas tip similar to like this that sits in the end. And these will get pretty carbon up on the inside, and what had happened with this one, it was completely blocked. I tried poking the needle in it, see, because when you pull this generator assembly off, the needle will be exposed. So I flipped the gas tip around, since I could easily see the hole, and try to work my way through the carbon. And it didn't want to go, so what I ended up doing is that I put it in like a small glass jar like this, which has carburetor cleaner. In fact, this is the exact jar. You can see how much carbon came out. And then I put this whole thing in my ultrasonic cleaner, and so that way it was being ultrasonically cleaned in carburetor cleaner, which helped loosen it up. I was able to get the hole through the gas tip, and then find the inside of this was all completely packed with carbon. So cleaned all of that out, and so that was good for the gas tip angle. I'm getting some great reverb off of the metal here. It's kind of funny. And then the spring was stuck inside of the tube. So same old thing. I put this rod on my vise. I stuck the generator on this. I hit it with the torch until it was starting to just glow red, and then I would quench it in water, and it only took about 2 quenches, and it did break loose. So this one wasn't quite as bad as one of the other handy gas plant ones, but I I still have a handy gas plant generator tube to get loose. But this one doesn't sound too bad. I mean, you can hear it. The spring is loose in there. I think it's only hung up at this end. This one will probably be easy to take care of, but that is another show. So anyway, that was the whole deal with that. So that's the tip on clamping this in a soft jaw and then applying the wrench to here, and then how to kind of clean that gas tip out. And then of course the rod was carboned up, so a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of steel wool, cleaned all that up. So now everything works fine. What had happened is that with that gas tip being so plugged up with carbon on the back side, the end of the pricker needle was actually bottoming out and couldn't make it through. So these pricker needles, which I have one loose here from this gas plant, these pricker needles, they have a shoulder where the pricker stops. Well, there was so much carbon it couldn't get through it, so it just stopped. And obviously you probably couldn't even turn the thing off at that point. So that's probably why this got set aside, and then not much else happened with it. But it was a pretty simple matter to get it done. I've struggled much more with other generators. This one probably took me 30 minutes to get through. So that was pretty good. Now, what we're starting to see here are some of the things that I got from the International Coleman Collectors Club that met in Dallas. So this Model 16 here, see if we can't turn it around so you can see a little better. It's really in pretty nice shape. I'm not sure how high up you can actually see here, but at any rate, the way this works is that maybe this camera is probably a better view. There is a slit burner that's in here. In fact, I can probably fly you guys in. So this is what it looks like inside. So you can see there's a slit burner in there, which is much like what you would see on a handy gas plant. And then those slits are kind of blocked up, so we'll have to clean those out. And then you have all these ceramic caps in here, which it just so happens that the safety wire that I've got here is a perfect fit for those holes, but as you can see, there's like a zillion of them. So yeah, you clean the slits out, and then because that right here, this whole slit burner thing, that is the generator heater. That's what keeps the generator generating once it starts. That's the other thing that's kind of interesting on this too. Well, I'll just ride you over here real quick to one of the handy gas plants so you can see that the slits on them are pretty similar. And that's how they work. I've got several of them now. Apparently they just, if you leave them alone, they'll multiply. But the whole setup like this and how this starts is very similar to the handy gas plant and how it starts. I don't have one that's, well, this I can kind of show you here. Yeah, there's both of them there. It looks very, very same. The same kind of thing where you push down on that and you spin the knob for the instant gas feature. So, all right, enough of that. Hopefully get you set back up here. And I think what we want to do, kind of what I want to do, is the route of least effort. So that for me is the one where I just take a razor blade and drag it through these slits here to kind of clean them out as best I can. And then we just try to light it and we see what happens, which sometimes on these things that's all they need. So I haven't ever lit this particular model before, and these slits are pretty plugged up. It looks like this may have been sitting at a barn sometime or whatever. I don't know. But we'll see if we can't make our way through these slits. And then we're just gonna slam and go, man. We're not gonna, you know, it's damn the torpedoes full speed ahead. So I think I'm gonna grip this with my needle nose pliers here, so I can get a little bit more length on it. Because this is kind of in a weird spot. Oh yeah, that is so much better. This is my also my specially prepared razor blade that I have cut notches into. So it looks like there's only 3 slits that I can see here. They appear to be mostly clear. Maybe not. We'll see here in a minute, I guess. So with these, you can run them without the elements in them, without the radiants in them. That's fine. You can do that for testing. You don't have to mess with that. So yeah, this is gonna be great if it actually works, and if not, well, we'll know we've got some work ahead of us. So wish I would have kind of kept my flashlight. So I just want to tip this up and take a look inside to see exactly where I'm going. Yeah, everything's really simple. I mean, it's just a giant hole that's in there, right? And then the burner tip goes right into this recess right here. But I think that all this stuff here, I don't know if this is this aluminum? It does feel like aluminum. So let's humor me for just a moment. And we're gonna go ahead and see how much of a shine is hiding in here that we might be able to pick up real quick. Let's just kind of see how this goes. Oh, I think there's a fair bit. Actually, I don't have a real clean rag, but I've got a dirty one, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah. That actually looks really quite shiny. The lower edge I did right here. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe that's a little better, but of course now it's dark. But yeah, that should shine up real good. So I'll end up taking all this off and then polishing that out. And that should look real good. It won't take any time at all because, you know, with it being aluminum, it just polishes super easy. So, and then probably when I have that apart, it might be a good time to clean out the burner holes, because a little bit of a spoiler, I have another heater very similar to this that I've got running, but it has the same kind of burner holes in it. So let's get this big tank in here. And then that goes in there like that, so it can't pull out. I've got my generator closed. I've got my instant air closed, or instant light circuit closed. And right now, what we need to do is pump it. That's the other thing that I did when I got this, is that I did rinse the tank out. I got some of the most neon green gasoline coming out of there I've ever seen in my life. So that, and then this fitting where you pump it right here, this has got a check valve in it, but you wouldn't know it when I first used it, because it blew right back. So unscrewed it, a couple of shots of carb cleaner, threw it in the ultrasonic, ball loosened up, everything works perfect. So no problems with that. We're going to use the old school pump here and give it probably 30 pumps. Sounds good. All right. That's 30 pumps. So hopefully that will work good. I really like that old that old pump. Oh, this pump here, it's not an old one. This I got from old Coleman parts. It looks a little bit scuffy right now just because I've been using it with my dirty, greasy hands, but and it is solid brass, so it's going to tarnish over time, but it is pretty nice. It works really good. Amish made, nice quality stuff. If you're looking for one, it's a good place to go get one. So hey, let's see if the instant light circuit works. I think I want to use my little butane torch to light this with. So we're going to light the butane torch with my other torch. And we're going to see what happens. It's probably going to take a while for fuel to make it up because it is completely dry. And I can hear it. Oh wait, I'm not going to hear anything because that isn't open. So let me shut this back off. I'm going to open the generator all the way. And then I'm going to open this. And there we go. Now we got flow. Smells vaguely gasoline-y. Still don't have fuel up. I don't hear it spitting. I think it's coming. Yep, there's the spit. Nothing seems to be wanting to light. Certainly hear it spitting. We're just not getting anywhere yet. See if rocking the boat. I can still hear it going. Let me try opening this, which is probably not recommended. Okay, so it seems here like maybe there might be a block in the fuel pickup, which is fine. We can go ahead and pull that apart and take a look at that and see exactly where we've ended up. Super easy way to see where you're at with that is just pull it out and just try it in open air. So we'll go ahead and do that. Because I didn't pull this valve out, and boy, I really don't want to, because I am be real concerned about spinning the bung on this, and it does look like I have enough room to put like a pair of channel locks on there and turn against those. Definitely do not want to turn against this because, like I said, this is very thin material. I mean, you can hear. It's not very thick. Okay, so this all the way open. So there's definitely air coming out of here. You can hear that for sure. Open this all the way up. And I have a fair bit of fuel in here, but we'll give it a slosh and see if that doesn't cause it to spit any fuel. The generator is pretty hot for me holding it over there because it's blowing hot air out. Yeah, we're just not getting any fuel coming in through the pickup. So, but we're definitely getting flow out of the generator, so we know that part's working good. My this generator knob is also super tight, so I'm hoping that when we get some fuel through here, it'll kind of help loosen that up. But it is really tight. Yeah, but we're just not getting anything out of this. So as I sit here and I think about this, I want to be super duper careful because I just managed to cause myself some extra work with a handy gas plant. Normally I would say, hey, let's go ahead and use some heat right here and try to see what we can get to come loose. Well, I did that on the handy gas plant and I unsoldered the bung. So when I unscrewed this, the whole bung spun, and that was like a real very depressing moment. So I don't want to do that with this. As much as I hate putting pliers in anything, I think I'm going to have to, just to preserve this part of it. And I'm not really ready to do that right now because honestly, for all the things I've got, I don't have a large pair of channel locks around here. Or not channel locks, but the vice grips, and that's really what I want to have on that. And even though it'll mar this up a little bit, it'll keep it from ripping the tank apart. So that's probably what we're gonna do, and we'll probably end up stopping the video here, unless probably one really quick and easy thing I can do is to pull this off, and then we can look right in here. This is easy because I can get purchase on that, and this has got a flat on it, so that's pretty simple. So I can do that. And we'll take a look to see what we got. I wonder if if it is actually a standard size here. That would be nice. Somehow I don't think it is. Nope. They always seem to use something that's not quite what I have. So how on earth am I going to really get that in there? Well, get that on there. Get this in here. This is questionable at best. I don't like the way this feels at all. Maybe this is a little better angle. So with these, you don't want to brace the tank against your body if you can help it, because that might make you actually pull this apart and apply force to the tank. You don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't have a. What I really should probably do is put a pipe on the end of this and then turn the pipe. And I don't have something like that. So I think what we're going to do for right now is they're going to say, cool, this is going to be a bit of a project for us, and we'll have to probably see what happens on the next round. So consider this an introduction to the Model 16, and we'll see what happens with this one next time. Hopefully we'll get it apart, and then you can see the inner workings of how this right angle type of fuel system works, and see if we can get the thing flowing some fuel. That's it for now. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep them lit.